Hello. Well, good afternoon and good evening, everyone. We're going to get started with our webinar. So hello and welcome. In this webinar, we're going to show you how you can increase the performance and value you get from your current voice or web-based virtual assistant, significantly maximizing the return on your existing investment. My name is Darren Ford. I'm the founder and CEO of the CAI company. And we also have Mike Reed, who is our product owner for Chatpulse. At the CAI company, we focus on nothing but conversational AI. That's our superpower. We provide expert services to other companies implementing conversational AI applications and AI agents. We are headquartered in the UK, but we work with organizations across the globe. We work across all domains and use cases and for some of the world's largest companies. Conversational AI is all we do, live and breathe. Being experts in the field, we've also developed a conversational data analytics platform called Chatpulse. And this enables organizations to reach a level of performance not possible with traditional techniques. It's a standalone application. And whilst built by our experts, it does not need our experts to run and is available to any organization for their own benefit. So what will we cover today? We're going to cover the current challenges when trying to analyze and understand bot performance. We're going to talk about Chatpulse, real examples of value derived for our existing customers, and provide a demonstration. And we'll also summarize the business benefits achieved. So why did we build Chatpulse? It is well understood within the industry that understanding bot performance is a huge challenge, and it's preventing businesses from achieving all their potential from using this technology. And it's only going to get harder with the advent of large language models and AI agents as the content and bot responses are less structured and the conversation designers have less control over the dialogues. This is a challenge that we at the CAI company have been aware of for some time, and the reason why we decided to build Chatpulse. And we're not the only ones. Kane Sims from Voxworld, that most of us in the conversational AI space will know, highlighted in his 2025 predictions report that understanding bot performance is arguably one of the biggest challenges. So why do you need Chatpulse? Companies need Chatpulse because of the challenge of understanding bot performance mentioned above and the opportunity lost due to the limitations of current bot monitoring and analytics tools. Even a small improvement in bot performance can have a dramatic impact in areas such as reducing handovers to agents or improving CSAT. So consider this. A virtual assistant that is having 500,000 conversations with users per month, with just a 2% improvement in resolution, would save that company £500,000 a year. So what are the current challenges with understanding the performance of a bot? When a company launches a new conversational AI application or an existing bot on a new platform, they spend the first 6 to 18 months trying to understand how it is truly performing. They will add additional logic to the bot platform to tag certain events or flows. This may be exposed through the bot platform inbuilt reporting dashboard, or they may export the data into a data warehouse so they can use BI tools like Power BI to build custom reports. They will undoubtedly read hundreds or even thousands of dialogues to figure out what is happening. And even then, whatever they do conclude will not be statistically relevant compared to all of the conversations that the system is having. Their data scientists may be able to provide additional insights and undertake spot checks, but it will not be a systematic, repeatable process and likely not readily available to the business users. The fundamental issue with this process and existing tools is that they do not understand conversational data. Existing tools tag and measure numbers such as containment, fallback, safety net, or customer satisfaction. They provide the how many, but not the why. Those tools, they do not understand the conversational data. The tools do not truly understand what your customer is saying or doing. They are reporting numbers, all tags, and only the ones you have configured the system to report. And any qualitative metrics you do get are generally the bot platform marking its own homework. So trying to find issues is like looking for a needle in the haystack. It's not obvious what you need to know, resulting to reviewing conversations manually to try and identify trends. Given this time-consuming approach, any issues you do find, they're hard to quantify. Often, it is not possible to understand the impact on the overall performance of the bot, or whether a particular issue is worth fixing at all. You need to dig a little deeper, which requires additional BI reporting or tagging on content, which is time-consuming and can only be implemented going forward, so you may have to wait for the issue to reappear. The impact of all of these challenges results in a huge missed opportunity in terms of costs incurred due to unnecessary handovers, costs incurred for unnecessary developments, the impact on customer experience due to inefficient or broken dialogues, and lower revenue when missing upsell or retention opportunities. So what is Chatpulse? It's a SaaS platform with each customer having their own dedicated, secure environment. And this diagram shows you the flow of data and processes within Chatpulse. So in the top right of the diagram, the food for Chatpulse is conversational data from your bot platform, which is imported on a daily or an hourly basis. After the data is imported, the very first step is the removal of personally identifiable information, or PII. It then flows through a number of proprietary patented processes to gain an understanding of each message and conversation. And this is then exposed through a workbench purpose-built for conversational data. Chatpulse is a combination of proprietary AI algorithms and techniques run against every single conversation and message to ensure a clear understanding of what is going on with each interaction. The rich set of indicators is surfaced to the user in an easy-to-use interface, allowing the user to rapidly get to the bottom of issues, identify root causes, quantify impact, and subsequently validate any fixes. And it's unique. Earlier this year, we had patents approved for its underlying AI processes and algorithms. And Chatpulse is already delivering for our clients. And here we have a few real examples of specific insights Chatpulse has found. In all cases, these are mature virtual assistants, a combination of voice and web-based bots that have been in place for more than 3 years. These insights were previously unknown and provided significant payback when realized. So the first one we have here is around blank inputs. So Chatpulse helped the team discover there were plenty of blank inputs, and this was in particular for a voice assistant. And the reason for this was that the speech to text engine was not optimally configured to transcribe short single syllable utterances quickly spoken at the beginning of the input. It could be yes or no to a question. And then this had a significant impact on the user experience for 9% of the conversations, because the bot platform received a blank input. So highlighting this enabled the organization to retune the speech-to-text engine to better recognize those short utterances. And then bad buttons. There was a particular button for one of our customers on a text-based web chat where you could push more topics. And we noticed that this was associated with a high volume of negative CSAT. So the original design of the dialogue was based on the appearance of buttons in the web interface to help a user with the suggested next best action. But what Chatpulse found was that the buttons and their terminology were not using the terminology best understood by the user. This resulted in interactions with longer terms and a higher number of human agent escalations than as the user cycled through 3 or more button options. The third example here is around conversational design. And actually, it wasn't really about the bot platform. It was how a question was asked. So the problem was with a simple question where the bot was asking the user, are you contacting us about a service issue or a specific product? Now, that's not a great question. The user was often responding with service issue with a product, or actually saying the word specific product. And then the problem with this is that the bot had been trained to trigger the appropriate path by the use of a synonym for service issue or the name of a product from the company. But because of this issue, 8% of the conversations in this flow were tangled, often resulting in user abandonment, meaning lost sales opportunities when the user was wanting to buy a product, or unnecessary escalations, which costed an additional £100,000 a year in human agent costs. And then finally, misrouting. And in this example, the customer had several different agent queues, and specifically, the human agent cost for going to a queue that was onshore pre-sales to retain customers or sell to customers was twice the cost of than the cost of going to a post-sales queue. And Chatpulse identified that 31% of the conversations going to the pre-sales queue was unnecessary because they were about shipping queries and couldn't have gone to the post-sales queue. So by fixing this issue that was identified by Chatpulse to improve call routing, saved the company $300,000 a year. So the results from using Chatpulse in just a few of these small examples resulted in reduced agent costs, improved CSAT, better intent recognition and containment, and increased sales. So what I would now like to do is to hand over to Mike Reed, who's going to give us a demonstration of Chatpulse.
Okay, thank you very much, Darren. Just give me a second while I share my screen. Okay, so what I'm showing you now, this is the home page of Chatpulse. So when you log in to Chatpulse, you will see the list of all of the bots that you may have. This might be one bot, it might be 20 bots, but you'll see a summary of all of the bots. And within this summary, you can see how many conversations that you've had processed over a particular period of time. Has that changed since the last period of time? And then also, what's the health of the bot? So what's its bot score? This is an aggregation of a number of different indicators that are summed up and then applied to give us an understanding of whether what's the current performance of your bot. And then you can see whether that has changed too. Part of these numbers are always based on a particular set or a particular time period. So that time period can be adjusted via the top right-hand panel. So you might want to look at the last 7 days. You might want to look at yesterday. You might want to look at the last month. So this is an adjustable time period that you can configure. And then I've actually configured, we're going to have a look at a particular time period over the holiday season of last year. And then we're going to go into one of our particular bots, which is the foodie bot. Now, the whole point of this application and the key reason we've designed it as we have is to enable users to rapidly get to and understand issues that are going on within their bot, and then identify why those issues have happened and what is causing particular issues. And then once you've done that and you've potentially fixed the issue, or you've identified what the root cause is, you also will want to quantify it. So is this a big issue that's happened lots of times and that you really need to fix, or is it only really happening 1 in 100,000 conversations, and maybe it's not something that you need to put as a high priority? So you need to be able to identify what's going on, where are your issues, how big are those issues, and then once you've fixed it, has it actually made the improvement that you need it to? So the whole of the design of the application is to enable that process to be easy and simple out of the box, so that you can truly sort of rapidly get to the bottom of understanding what's going on and resolve the issues. So what we're looking at here is our homepage for the bot. So you can see the number of conversations that have happened over the time period I've selected. Then we have a number of indicators that represent the health of the bot and show what's going on. So each individual conversation has been analyzed, and then tagged with various indicators, and those indicators are shown here. Some of these indicators are conversation levels, such as escalated conversations. Some of them are message levels, such as what is the particular topic that a particular message contains based on our analysis of the content. We've got metrics around how the bot is behaving, whether the bot's repeated, how long the bot has taken to respond. We've also got the voice of the customer. What's the user doing? So how long is the conversation going on for? Has the user abandoned? Are they happy in the conversation? Is the conversation negative? Have they been asking for agent requests? And then beyond that, we've also got the ability to load the actual customer specific metadata. So what metadata the customer can provide to us within Chatpulse, so that you can also measure elements that are custom to the particular bot. So for example, here we've got a high level business category. We've got the intent from the platform. We've got things like the CSAT score from the survey at the end of the conversation. So there's various things that we can pull in, and that's configurable for each individual bot, for each individual customer, based on the data that is available to us. So quickly going to go into a particular scenario. So we're looking at this data across the holiday season, and we want to actually focus in on escalated conversations. So escalated conversations is effectively how often has a conversation been handed over to an agent. Now, in our demo data, we have one particular escalation, one route to the agent, which is a generic handover one, but that could be multiple escalations to different routes. So that, in the example that Darren gave, where we talk about pre-sales, we might have a pre-sales route and a tech support route, and a generic support route, and then we can then see what's going on between those different routes and filter on individual handovers. But in this scenario, we're going to explore the handover, generic handover. And by exploring, what I'm doing is I'm coming back to that home page and I'm looking at the home page, but I'm now filtered just on escalated conversations. We can also look at fallback messages. So fallbacks are what are the messages that where the bot hasn't understood something, and then they fire off a fallback, and then we can look at those as well. So we can identify whenever the bot's not clear what's going on, how often do they hit the safety net, or have they got a specific fallback based on a particular part of the flow. And in this instance, we're going to have a look at safety net, which is a generic fallback. So we can also add a filter on fallbacks, and I'm going to select the generic safety net fallback. And so now I'm now looking at only 450 conversations. This is a combination of conversations that have been escalated, but have also triggered the generic safety net. And I can now go and have a look at what messages triggered that particular fallback. So within the view we're now looking at is a list of the messages from the user that triggered the safety net fallback. And you can see in here that there's actually quite a lot of references to Acme, which is a particular phrase that is not being understood. In fact, we can actually look at the conversation as a whole. We can go and have a look at the overall conversation, and you can see within the overall conversation that there is a misunderstanding that doesn't understand what Acme is. And in this particular scenario, it's tried again, the user's tried again, and then the bot's confusing rejoining with Acme and starting to kind of welcome them back because they've rejoined. But in reality, the user is interested in this Acme, which we are aware of as a promotion that has been set up temporarily. Clearly, the bot's not using, not recognizing it effectively. So if we go back to our homepage for the bot, we can see there's an issue. There's definitely an issue with intent, but is that an important issue? How much of an issue is it? Do we really need to fix it? And the one way we can do that is if I remove these filters and just look at what are, how often does Acme appear in the system. So I can do a basic search on text for the user. Whenever the user says Acme, we can see how many conversations that is. And as you can see from that, actually, it's no more than 128 over this period. Now, is that something we need to look at? Or maybe it's something is not important enough. But the key thing here is we've validated the scale of that issue, and we can assess whether that is something we should prioritize or not. So that's the first scenario. And so that's identified an issue. But what happens if we identify an issue, we fix it? Can we actually see that fix being implemented, and has it worked? So I'm going to clear these filters now, and I'm going to move on to a slightly different scenario. And I'm going to change the date. We're just going to have a look at the date from the 12th to the 18th of December. Now we know that we've implemented a fix at this point on the 12th of December to fix some issues of escalation, particularly around providing self-serve around delivery issues. So we can see from the 12th, actually our escalated conversations has improved by about 18%. There's 18% less escalations, and we can go and have a look at that in a bit more detail if we wish to. And we can explore on that, so we will filter on these escalations. So you can see we've got a drop of, well, it says 17% here. We can have a look at topics. We can see particularly that the products and services topic has had a huge drop in numbers since the previous week. The grey bar is always the previous time period, and the purple is the current time period. So we can see that we've had a big improvement there. In fact, we can actually have a look in a bit more detail in our discovery view, and we can look at how does that impact against, for example, the business category. So I can look at my products and services, and I can see that from a business category perspective, we have massively improved on pick and pack issues, on quality issues, and logistics issues. They've all improved significantly, and they're the biggest numbers in terms of business categories. And I've also created what we call an objective, which is effectively a saved filter that shows how many escalations we have saved in that week. So for example, so we are filtering on the relevant business categories on our escalated conversations, again within the same time period of the 12th to the 18th of December. And we saved about 647, we saved 56% of the conversations, which effectively adds up to about 800 conversations. And if you apply that over a time period of a month, that's about 3.6 thousand conversations saved. And that will equate in this particular scenario where a handover is costing about £5, it's about 200,000 a year saved with that one change. And you can see that very specifically and very clearly within Chatpulse. So that's all I was going to demonstrate. It's effectively showing you how quick and easy it is to, one, analyze your content, two, understand what's going on validate the impact of it, and then prove that any changes you made have actually had an impact. And there's no waiting on reports. There's no complex dashboards that you need to build. It's all out of the box. There's no waiting for data engineers or fighting for the data team to come up with the reports you need. It all comes out of the box. As soon as you've got your data in, the data is available for you, and you can start doing this analysis. And that's it. Thank you very much for that. I shall pass you back to Darren.
Great. Thank you, Mike. I'm going to share my screen again. So in terms of the business benefits of Chatpulse and what we're seeing with the benefits that organizations are getting from using it today. Impact on the bottom line. So with Chatpulse, you can rapidly improve your bot performance and key metrics in a much shorter time frame than would otherwise be the case without it. And we've talked about the example of just a mild improvement on containment, which is just one of the many measures, can save in the region of £500,000 a year for an organization with 500,000 conversations a month. And what this means is that only a fraction of a percentage in reduction in handovers would deliver an ROI on Chatpulse and pay for it. In addition to this, you've got all the other common KPI measures, such as customer satisfaction and a reduction in friction for the user experience and upsell opportunities. Understanding the voice of the customer with a customer-centric view on your bot performance, you're no longer relying on limited CSAT data or self-assessed platform metrics, and you can know that your analysis and your conclusions are statistically relevant because every single conversation has been analyzed and counted. And then improve bot operations. You have the democratization of data, giving business users and your bot owners the information they need at their fingertips without having to raise internal IT tickets to get extra reports done or changes to the bot platform. There's no need for complex data and analytics to deliver business as usual improvements, freeing up the data team to focus on other priority areas. Provides a benchmark for future changes in your solution, from deploying minor fixes to major changes, or such as implementing additional LLM-based components or a complete platform migration. And it reduces the time to maximum value, so enabling platform migrations and major changes to rapidly get up to speed by accelerating problem identification. And importantly, you can identify your priorities because it's data-driven insights and decisions based on all of your conversations. And you can get a taster on Chatpulse. So we put together a fixed price performance health check package, and it uses a combination of Chatpulse and our expert services. Based on up to 3 months of your bot data, and it is guaranteed to provide valuable insights. We are that confident if it does not provide those valuable insights, you can have your money back. Feel free to scan this QR code or go to this particular web address to get more information about the health check. Thank you very much, everybody. We have a couple of minutes for questions. So I'm just going to see what we have coming in. Okay. The first question, Mike, I'm going to hand over to you if that's okay. The question is, what bot platforms does Chatpulse work with?
Yes, well, basically we're platform agnostic. So providing you can provide the data in a structured format, we're able to consume it and present it within the Chatpulse application. So it isn't designed for any specific bot. It's dependent on the conversational data in a structured format. But yeah, there is no bot platform specific requirements.
Great, thank you. So If you can extract your data from the bot platform, then Chatpulse can use it. The other question I have is, can you tell us about security and infrastructure? What does it run on? Anything about scalability? Well, I mentioned earlier on that we redact personally identifiable information from the outset, and then the source file is irrevocably deleted. Each customer has their own isolated and dedicated infrastructure for Chatpulse, and it's also within the region from which their data originates. And it's all hosted using Microsoft Azure. So we have quite a few options for different regions. For anyone to access the data, it's utilizing Azure two-factor authentication, and it's been built using the most recent technologies for auto-scaling with containers and serverless functions. So it's very efficient, and it will only use the infrastructure when it needs to, as opposed to having it reserved all the time. And one more question, Mike, I think we've got time for you again. How long does it take to set up, and what's the process for using Chatpulse?
Okay, well, yes, I mean, it doesn't take any time at all. Once you can provide us with the data in the format, we can get it loaded into the system, and it will be pretty much available immediately. It's a SaaS solution, so it's about loading the data in the correct format, and then it's available. It's as simple as that.
Great. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for your time in joining the webinar. If you'd like to get in touch, please reach out to myself or Mike Reed via LinkedIn or with the information that we shared at the beginning. We look forward to hearing from you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.